If there is any city in the world where nobody is going to look twice at a guy in a ghost face mask getting on the subway and wreaking havoc, it's probably New York City.
Bing bong.
So the original Scream film is one of my favorite movies of all time. Not just favorite horror movies, but legitimately one of my favorite movies ever made. And as I watched the other Scream films in the franchise, I got more and more excited for Scream 6. Specifically also because I'm a New Yorker, so the fact that they were filming this in New York and there was a chance that Ghostface showed up with a Yankee fitted and a pair of Timberland boots on, holding a bacon, egg, and cheese, I was all in from the beginning. So I am very happy to report that Scream 6 is a banger. This is easily one of the best films in the Scream franchise. More importantly, it is the Scream franchise. Even in the movie, they are now officially treating it as a franchise, and that, I gotta say, is one of the things that I have always loved about this series, how meta, how self-aware these movies are. Because as much as I love movies like Get Out and The Babadook, there are so many great elevated horror movies, a term actually coined by the Scream franchise. I really, really like what Scream brings to the horror genre because it gives us some comedy that I think works really well with some of the most brutal death scenes in the franchise. Scream 6 has some of the most brutal deaths in the series so far. Now, I was incredibly disappointed when I found out that Neve Campbell was not going to be in this movie because it feels really strange to do a Scream film without Sydney in it. Aside from her not being in this film, I do appreciate how much the people making these movies care about the lore of the Scream universe. Not only do they bring back legacy characters, but they pay attention to the rules that were set up in the first Scream movie. There is so much happening in this film where they are making sure that they pay attention to how things are supposed to go within the confines of this universe. I love it. It all makes sense. It all makes more sense than you even realize when you're watching the film, and that's actually something I've never done, is go back and watch a Scream film twice. It's certainly a totally different viewing experience, I would imagine. I really appreciate that they are paying such close attention to detail in these movies, and there seems like there's no wasted motion. It seems like everything that they are putting into these films, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to get up and go to the bathroom and come back because you will probably have missed something that will end up being important like 10 other Scream movies down the line. You will have missed something in this movie that really plays a key role. One of the things that I liked about this film the most was that it really does find the balance between the horror and the comedy that these films are known for. Some of the deaths are sort of like purposefully hilarious, just which sounds awful. I know it sounds awful, but some of them are just like seem like they're purposefully being done in the most hilarious way possible, which somebody who appreciates good comedy, sometimes good dark comedy, I like that. Now, obviously, one of the most important things when it comes to a Scream movie is throughout the viewing experience, we, the audience, are trying to figure out who done it. Who is the killer? Who are the killers? How many of them are there? How are they connected? Why are they doing it? I'm someone who actually thought that Scream 5 threw enough misdirects at you that I did not think the killer was obvious. Some people said it was obvious, but people will probably say that about literally any Scream movie. I think that this one does an even better job at those misdirects because they have so many characters in this movie. They have so many people that could potentially be the killer. I had no idea. I had hunches, but I had no clue. I was not 100% set on anyone in this film being the person behind everything. They made sure that they were swerving you, that they were throwing you off the scent every chance that they got. I also think the setting of this film being in New York City, fantastic, because if there is any city in the world where nobody is going to look twice at a guy in a ghost face mask getting on the subway and wreaking havoc, it's probably New York City. The setting of this film added so much to it, and I honestly hope that this is something we get more of. Now that the film is really trying to move this franchise ahead, and I don't know how much more of the legacy characters we'll see going forward. Maybe the next one's in California, like maybe they go to a different country, like Ghostface getting on a plane. I'm really interested to see where these characters go from here. I'm all in, man. I'm all in. I loved Scream 1. I loved it. I think it stands really well just on its own. But once you get into this franchise, once you've seen all the Scream movies for better or for worse, you're hooked. Like, I'm so glad they came back. I'm so glad we're getting more Scream movies. Can't wait for Scream 7, 8, 9, 10. Man, keep it going. Radio Silence knows what they are doing. This franchise is in such good hands, and I cannot wait to see the next Scream movie.